Jan Göransson, Head of Press at the Swedish Film Institute, and I will give you a very brief presentation about the Film Institute, how it works, and talk a little bit about collaborations with other countries, and if you are interested to collaborate with Swedish producers, if you haven't done it yet. Your film is partly shot in Sweden, as you told me yesterday, and you also built Sweden in a Belgrade studio. That's fantastic, and I will spread the word about that in Sweden.
I hope that.
I will first of all, I will say I have no money. I'm a press person, a PR person. I'm quite good in connecting people, and I'm also working a lot with film festivals all over the world. Every year I'm attending Cannes Film Festival and Berlin Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival, sometimes Venice Film Festival, and also some Nordic, like this one, for TEDSA, and also Nordic Film Days in Lübeck, and they're always good places to meet people and also be connected with embassy in Belgrade. So, but now, you,
yes.
Anna.
Yes, okay, so I'm Anna Landmarko, and I'm a filmmaker and performance artist. But I'm also a member of Women in Film and Television, which is an international organization that has chapters in different countries. So I think it's in 35 countries. This organization, it's a non-profit organization, and everybody is in there for free, but we're working for enhancing women in film. And film and television in Sweden, we have also done some reports. We have created something called the A rating, which is a rating that is coming from, it's actually from the beginning, a comic strip called the Bechdel-Wallace test. It was two women sitting and sort of watching films, and the test is if you can find a film that has two women that are named talking to each other about something else than men, you can get A rate. And it's not very easy to find those films, women with names talking about something else than men. so this just, it started just as a very funny test, but it's actually won proof. And the one who started this was Ellen Taylor. She's from Stockholm, and she's also run cinema, the art house cinema in Stockholm. And she's been both in China and in Brazil and things like that, and talking about this A rating, and of course about women in film and television. And we also in Sweden have made some reports. So it's 5 reports that were made during, started I think in 2004, the first text came, and this is the last one, and here is no sexism, please, we're Swedish. And this is kind of a study in gender equality within the film industry, and it's more like counting figures, how it looks both in who are the producers, who are the directors, and things like that. So we're working quite a lot with gender equality.
Yeah, and I must say about this A rating, it has also inspired a lot of people. It's a kind of a challenge for some film directors. I mean, they are not follow this as slaves, but it could be a really inspiring thing.
Yes, and it's not a quality stamp. I would say it's just to see how it looks like in the world. It doesn't say that a film with women characters are better than if there are no women characters, but it's kind of checking out the figures. How does it look? Who tells the stories, and whose stories are we following? So this is it. And then they have also made a new one called the Chavez-Perez test. And the Chavez-Perez is 2 non-white men talking about something else than a crime. So it's a spin-off.
Yes, but I'd like to start with, before I talk to start this tour at the Swedish Film Institute, I started to talk about with Jelena today that we were talking about Dusan Macarejo, yeah, and it's so fun because he made a movie in talking about collaborations. He made a movie in 1981, Montenegro. Has anyone seen it?
Yes.
You've seen it, yeah. And it was very popular in Sweden.
Really?
Yeah, and also it competed for the Golden Palm in Cannes that year, and it has the most distinguished at that time stars in Swedish cinema like Erland Josephson and Per Oscarsson and so. And I believe also important Balkan actors. I haven't seen it since then, but I remember it very funny. And also I happened to come to a lecture with Dusan in Berlin Film Festival some years ago. He was quite old and he's not working any longer, but anyway, it's so maybe next year you should try to show it.
Yeah,
Since it's
a good idea.
really good Swedish Montenegro or
Collaboration, yeah, and it is Montenegro, Mr. Montenegro, it fits with the place.
And tonight it will be Jelena's film, but we have also some other directors, Ivica Subak's film.
Which is also selected
Yeah,
on Monday.
yeah. So it will be shown on Monday.
First one.
And Jelena has a part in it.
We hold it, yeah.
Yes.
I know.
But we have also another Goran Kapetanovic, who is a prize-winning director, and yeah.
Mikolasic also.
Yeah,
made in
Nikolasic,
Europe.
made in Yugoslavia. That was very popular. And
Yeah.
also traveled abroad. So there are more than that. And really nice. And Gabriela Pichler, she is half from Montenegro and Austria, and she made a film called Eat, Sleep, Die that came to the Venice Film Festival, and it was quite successful all over the world. And now she made a new film that came, Amateurs, that came to Gothenburg Film Festival and other film festivals. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Swedish Film Institute, and this is the founder. His name was Harry Schein, and he was a refugee. He escaped the Nazis in Vienna, Austria. So he came to Sweden, and then he was extremely film interested. He was also an engineer, and he created the Swedish film reform in 1963. And that was
he the founder of the institute?
Yeah, the Swedish Film Institute.
His name is?
Harry Schein. And he loved to come to Cannes Film Festival because he made interesting collaborations with the most famous directors at that time in France, Agnes Varda, Jean-Luc Godard, Truffaut, yeah. And he was also married, I think you see the portrait here, Ingrid Thulin, one of the most well-known Bergman actresses from the Wild Strawberries. So he was also a close friend of Ingmar Bergman, of course. And, so, yeah. And Olof Palme, yes. Olof Palme, who was a close friend of Tito. And when Tito stayed at Svette Stefan, Olof Palme came and visited in the 70s, I think. Yeah. And this is a brief history. And since 2017, we have a new film politic. So we get money from the state, like 58 million euros every year. It should go to the film archive, but also new film production, of course, and salaries. So there are like 140 employees at the Swedish Film Institute. But we get quite a lot of money for preserving the film, and that's very important, I think. So, for instance, Germany is quite jealous towards us because, yeah.
We just started preserving the release for like a couple of
That was a bill, not more than that, we just started to do that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Is that also for the digitalization?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
The set.
Not more than 10.
Yeah.
Not more than 10. 10 to 20 films, that's the only that's digitalized film now.
yeah.
We made a voting about the best Serbian movies in history
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years
And,
ago.
we can start this process of digitalization
Yeah.
movie. Znači peri, kako je to prevedeno?
Saša.
I meant Happy Gypsies. This
Yeah.
movie of Saša Skupljači perjaka. To je prevedeno, ja sam sreo srećne cigane.
I don't know.
Želim and I meet happy gypsies.
Probably, yeah.
This movie won Grand Prix in Cannes in 1967.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That one I haven't seen yet. So, but it's good to know about that, and it's so important with this, as you know, with digitalization, since it's so easy to show the films, as you know, and we know that the interest of the Swedish film heritage is so much more important nowadays than it used to be, because it's so easy to for the films to travel all over the world. And so these are the main tasks for the Swedish Film Institute: to support the production, and we are the biggest funders. But you have also regional funding in Sweden, like Film i Skåne.
Yes, I think there are four regional film funds in Sweden.
Yeah,
So it's
okay.
Film i Skåne, Film i Väst, Film Pool Nord.
And the film capital Stockholm.
Yeah, film
The
capital
new
Stockholm.
film capital.
Mälaren.
Yeah, Mälaren, just Mälaren.
Yeah. But then you have also it's smaller, like, and there is a small one from my hometown, Norrköping.
Yeah,
You
they
list
have
that.
it, yeah, everywhere.
And this is
Björn Borg.
Borg, yeah.
Making
Yeah, he was, oh yeah, you know what
Same
I'm
actor.
talking, yeah.
Same actress yesterday.
Yeah.
In the film.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It's very good now, Sonja. That's Charlie.
Yeah,
It's very good now, Sonja. He's so look-alike, and he's. Do you remember Elina Stase? Yeah, from Romania. Yeah, his son. When we presented this film in Cannes, his son came and said, "I'm the son of Elina Stase." So this film is so yeah, and it opened Toronto Film Festival. It has never happened with a Swedish film before.
But Sheila Buff is in it, so probably
Yeah, yeah.
might be.
So this is the film, and the previous film agreement was kind of a really interesting financing. So that meant that, in short words, it meant that every time you went to a cinema, 10% of the cinema ticket went to the Swedish Film Institute. So that meant that Hollywood blockbusters supported Swedish film production, and then they get
That's good
lower
policy.
tax. So it was only 6% tax on a cinema ticket at that time, and 10% to us. Today it's like 25% of tax on a cinema ticket. So it's a little bit harder for some cinemas today, but we get more money from the state for the film production. Yeah, but we are really trying to increase in the export of Swedish film, and Nordic Crime has been very successful. And I asked you if the bridge is
Popular.
Is screened in.
It's the Gladly. TV-serie Bridge, Most.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is because we spoke about Nordic Noir, and they start with something like they have earlier parts of Nordic Noir, but never get so much success as it did like last 10 years. And it starts more or less from Millennium. You remember Millennium? The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and things like that, remake. And somewhere there starts this crime histories, which is called now Nordic Noir. And when I put this program to 100 years of anthological movies from I put this Nordic Noir and compared it with our Nordic wave, noir wave, sorry. And it's very different because this is crime fiction more or less, and this is more like survive under the Tito's period, you know, suppression in a political level. And noir could be understood on a different level.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, then, because there is also this Wallander,
Wallander
film,
crime.
because since I live in the south of Sweden and Ystad is close to Malmö, they have lots of tourists coming to the Ystad film studios and to watch Ystad because the Wallander movies has been really successful, mostly in Germany, I think. So there are lots of Germans coming to see.
And there were also English remakes by Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah, exactly. And he was
shot
in
Ystad. And of course, as Anna also talked, the Swedish Film Institute, we have our CEO, Anna Sani. She travels all over the world to inspire women in the film business, to try to increase the figure of female directors and producers and scriptwriters, of course. And I think there are quite good figures today, but of course they can be better. And especially, we were talking about that today, Jill and I, we were talking so much in the car, 4 hours in the car.
There, 2 hours.
And I went up 5:30 this morning. So.
Yeah, it was
But what we said that 2 of your films that you have selected in the program this year is so interesting. It's one made by Pernilla August, who used to be a Bergman actress, and they were very close friends, so you could see her on the Royal Dramatic Theatre in several places. And she made her feature film debut when she was 53 years old. So this was her second one. She's 60 years old now, but she's very popular, and so many people are sending her scripts. And also Karin Fahlén, who made this very funny comedy, in my opinion, All Inclusive, that will be screened on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. If you want to, you should have a couple of glasses of wine before you.
It's really comical.
It's really funny, and it has this brilliant Croatian.
It's Croatian production. Fantastic role.
And he's
I was
really
just
good.
telling Jan yesterday. It's really first time I saw domestic.
Yeah.
Let's say actor in so good in co-production after a long time. It's really good.
Just like feels good.
It's a really good example how this Balkan actor works so extremely well in this Swedish major production.
Both of them, two actually.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Ksenia Marinko, she's also very good and popular.
Yes.
It's a small role, but she's a fantastic actor.
Yeah. So and then she was like I think 48, 49 years old when she made her feature debut, Stockholm Stories, that came some years ago, and now All Inclusive. And All Inclusive was also a kind of a blockbuster on Swedish cinema.
Was it popular?
Very popular, 350,000, and that's a good figure for Sweden. 10 million inhabitants. This is Claes Bang from the Square. And have you seen the Square? The one who won?
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, I love to, that's why I like to work with the Swedish Film Institute, because I think our film heritage is so interesting. I mean, we didn't have so many female directors a long time ago, not so many countries had, but we had so many interesting stars, and also stories about women, like Ingmar Bergman. I mean, he's the kind of a he always put
par excellence. He puts the women always in very interesting roles as well. I would say. Very deep, very many layered female portraits.
Yeah, and they are very intellectual. They are interested in religious things. They have interesting works, professions, and the men are not so interesting. I mean, I also sorry, but the women are also really nice.
Good looking.
Yeah. And then we have Ingrid Bergman. My settling was also a Bergman actress where she started in one film, but she started to make films in the 60s, and she was very successful in Venice and the Cannes Film Festival. So she has inspired a lot of female directors in Sweden. And Ingmar Bergman,
or more.
Yeah. Also, we had, this is very interesting, in the 20s, the film arena in Sweden was very queer. So Mauri Stille, for instance, the man who discovered Greta Garbo, he made also films about, he put always the women in the front line. And he also made the first queer film in 1960. Some people consider it as the very first queer movie in the whole world.
Which was
The Wings, and actually you can
Wings?
see it, yeah,
Oh.
The Wings, and you can see it on YouTube. I mustn't say that, but
No, probably historians.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't say it, but it's only 1 hour, but it's
Wings.
interesting. The Wings, yeah.
The
But-
wings.
The
It's
wings.
like
but-
Wings.
Yeah.
the
Wings.
wings.
And then we had Greta Garbo, and today she's a gay icon. We had a queen in the 1600s called Christina, and today everybody consider her as a lesbian. Greta Garbo
Really?
wanted to make, Greta Garbo wanted desperately to make a film about Christina. And so that film, today, 85 years after it, it opened LGBT festivals all over the world at the BFI. So that's very interesting. And that's how it works sometimes. And in a new way. And we have also made a film about small population in Sweden. I don't know if you have heard about the Sami people.
Yeah.
But this Amanda Chanel, she plays a lot of the Sami population in the film, and it was a huge success in Sweden and also in Venice. And yeah, she has won so many prizes all over the world.
A local winner for a good bagge is the Perfect Square, which one
Yeah.
can. It was interesting because they have a good bagge, it's like Zlatica, it's their prize. And it was in competition Square and this Sami Blod, and Sami Blod won over the Square.
Really?
Yeah, on
That's
the local.
I prefer the superiors field. I like Portugal. I was thinking that should make
It was very interesting.
Oscar going away.
Yeah.
anything. I prefer that one.
But also,
Anyway,
I wanted to show you this picture because it's the European Film Award. Do you travel to Berlin or to other cities? You are going every year,
Not every year,
but
but
quite often. Yeah. And
more times.
I should say we have. I work a lot, very close to the. And it was created by Burma, for instance. That's interesting. But it's such a good networking place for meeting other producers and directors. And Danis Tanovic is going everywhere. Every year. You find him always in the smoking lunch. and
But he won in the last couple of years 2 silver bears.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a member of the academy right now, and I find it so interesting, but it takes so much time to watch all the films. Yeah. So we have all the
The main character
Best.
of this movie died.
Really? The guy that was the leading role in his latest film that won Silver Bear, that Rome guy.
in the hotel there.
He died.
No, in the
No,
hotel.
not in the hotel. Not the last film.
Docudrama.
Docudrama.
The episode of
The guy that
Still,
the iron steels. What's the translation? The guy that has a gypsy wife who can
From Bosnia,
who can Danis Tanović's film. A woman who can get this medical and social security, and she's pregnant, and she's going with her from hospital to hospital to get her help. And if you remember that film.
Yeah.
It was,
I never
it
saw
was
it,
his
but
previous, that's why I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It's his previous film that won the Silver Bear in Berlin.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a mockumentary, docudrama,
Yeah,
it's something
right.
like documentary. It's documentary, but it's also it's a feature made
Docudrama.
it's a docudrama and mockumentary.
Yeah.
It's made with a documentary technique, but with a real character who played himself,
Yeah.
like in a feature way. So it was interesting the way he did it. Anyway, that main character won the Golden Bear for leading role, which is amateur.
Yeah.
He died. That's what he said. I thought you know about the film. That's why we are
No.
sharing the information, but if you never saw it.
But I know I have it on my watch list on my IMDb. So
Prodao je tog medvjeda, ali nije dočekao azil u Njemačkoj.
Ja? A kad je?
Traje nekoliko mjeseci, ne više od 5-6 mjeseci.
And of course, women are still a big star nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think his wife on his next script.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
His wife's a script writer?
No, she's the director as well.
She's also
yeah,
director.
but they are divorced.
Separate.
Yeah. Andrea Östlund. But Andrea Östlund is also a member of
Yeah.
the WIFT
I
board.
didn't know she
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
director.
yeah.
And Ruben's girlfriend, she's a fashion photographer. So the new film is in the fashion environment. So that's how it works. It's Swedish. So yeah, this is a high figure, but of course a lot of films has problems to be screened. And
How many? 50 feature length film openings? That's a lot.
yeah, that's a lot.
Oh.
So we talk about
Congratulations.
sometimes about cannibalism, because a Swedish film is a Swedish film, and they get quite a lot of attraction in Swedish papers and TV.
Well, it's 50 films is a lot.
Yeah, so-
Do you consider there, of course, the co-productions?
Oh yeah, some
Yeah.
minors,
Minors,
no, but
okay.
not so many.
We have,
It's major, probably.
we don't have more than 10 with co-productions and not more than 5 a year.
Yeah.
It's 10 times a Serbian
Yeah.
average, so congratulations, it's a lot. It's really a lot.
I don't know how it works in your countries, but everybody wants to have their film in cinemas, because then you get reviews and you get more attention
Yeah.
than if it goes direct to the VOD or DVD or
No one will
whatever.
No
So-
one wants that, no one wants that, yeah.
So sometimes people are directors and producers are trying to distribute their films by themselves.
Yeah, and I know, but there has also been, it might change, you don't know, because there have been some Netflix films shown at the Cannes Festival, and the Cannes Festival hate and they don't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to the screenings. But if we look at this in maybe 5 or 10 years, it might be that
Yeah.
the streaming films will actually be another way
Netflix.
of distributing. And also, I don't know